everyone, how are you? This is Rachel Mombi Morigo from Fashion and Design, Class B. I'm going to take you through pattern drafting as a lesson. All right, let's go on. Let's start. Okay, we are going to have definitions of terms, the terms that you're going to hear me talk about. The first one is pattern. So a pattern is either a blueprint or a template that is made from paper or stadium material that acts as a guide for cutting fabric pieces that will be sewn together to form a garment. The next term you're going to hear me talk about is drafting. What is to draft? Okay, to draft, it is to create a blueprint for your clothing. So it is a process of transforming a bunch of measurements into flat paper on paper that will eventually become a 3D garment. What is pattern drafting? All right, generally pattern drafting, it focuses on the creation of custom pieces, okay, the patterns for clothing and other textile products. So it provides students with skills and knowledge needed to create custom patterns for clothing and other textile products, okay, allowing them to bring their design into life with precision and accuracy. Okay, here the students will learn how to take measurements. That is the first thing. They also know how to draft basic pattern blocks. They also know how to manipulate patterns for different styles and designs. They also know how to create patterns for garments from scratch. That is amazing, because pattern drafting, it involves the understanding of garment construction, the body proportions, and how to translate design into wearable garments. Okay, you also hear me talk about a blueprint. All right, you have heard me talk about the blueprint over here. So a blueprint, all right, it is the actual technical drawing that is used to create a garment. Okay, let's look at the blueprint. This is an example of a blueprint. You can see here, this is a trouser, all right, a lady's trouser. Okay, you can see the way it is. It has some markings over here, how you're going to draft it, all right. So it is a guide of how to make your idea to actual 3D garment. All right, let's continue. All right, we have also talked about pattern pieces. What are these pattern pieces that I'm talking about? Pattern pieces are individual components that make up a sewing pattern. Okay, they are typical made from either the paper, the cardboard, or are interfacing, and they represent different parts of garment that are needed to be cut from a fabric. When you look around here, we see these are pattern pieces, what I'm talking about. Here we have the front bodice. All right, when you want to make a blouse, this is a front bodice pattern piece. This is a back bodice pattern piece. We also have the collar over here. All right, here I've said there is an example. When you want to make, for example, here I've given an example about a t-shirt. When you want to make a t-shirt, you'll have to require pattern pieces like the front bodice, all right, like here, this one. We have the back bodice, like here. We also need sleeves that will come to see them, all right. We also need a collar, for example, like this one, all right. And then, okay, depending on the design of your garment, they will vary the pattern pieces vary depending on the design of your garment. Okay, now look at here, this is an example. Okay, we are seeing this lady here is wearing a bodice. This is a blouse and also a skirt. Okay, if you look at the front, this is how it looks, and at her back, this is how it is. So here, what we require for the pattern pieces, we have the bodice here. All right, this is the front, which will make this part, and the back, which will also form this part. Okay, we have the sleeve, the one that I've been talking about. The sleeve is this one, which you are seeing here. All right, these two. And then we have the waistband that you are seeing here, a strap that you can see here. We also have the skirt, all right, this one, the front one. Then we have the back skirt. Okay, and we also have here, All right, you can see some straps here. All right, okay, let's continue. We have some key information or the pattern piece information that will help you when you are laying out your pattern pieces. All right, the first one, always be careful of the grain lines. When you're talking about the grain lines, it is represented by these arrows that you can see here. Okay, the arrows that you can see here. All right, this arrow, the arrow lines, they represent the direction of the threads in the woven fabric, and it is very important to pay attention to them, because when laying this fabric to cut out the pattern pieces, because when you follow the grain line, it ensures that the fabric drapes and behaves correctly on the body. The next one we have here is the notches. They can be either in diamond shape or the triangle shape that you can see here. This is an example of a diamond shape notch. Okay, when you're talking about the notch, they indicate where, all right, sorry, let's continue. They indicate where you need to match up your two pattern pieces and put them together. All right, we also have our button and our buttonhole. All right, this is where you're going to put your buttonhole, and then here is the here is where you're going to put your button, and then here we have our buttonhole. All right, or here is the buttonhole, and then here is your button indicator. We also have the darts. All right, this is a single pointed dart, and then you have a double pointed dart. Okay, the dart lines, they often have dots on them that you can see here. All right, to help you to align your stitching, you can know where to stitch. All right, let's continue. We also have some curtain lines. This is also an information that is very important, so that when you are cutting out the pattern pieces, all right, you need to first start by cutting out your pattern. First start from cutting out the paper pattern, and then you cut out the fabric. So you need to first start with your pattern, the paper patterns, then you go to the fabric pattern. You also have another indicator of place on fold. You can see it is folded. So here you're going to place or position it at the edge of the pattern piece that is on fold that you want it, because it allows you to cut a piece of fabric that is twice as large as your pattern piece. We also have some pattern keys. It indicates the right side of the garment, the fabric, the wrong side of the fabric, the interlining. We're going to put an interface, all right, and the lining. All right, we also have some tucks and gathers that you can see here. They will give you an allowance so that you'll be able to form your tucks and your gathers. Okay, as I've indicated, these are our pattern pieces. We have the back bodice, we have the front bodice that you can also see here. We have some sleeves here. We also have some tools that we're going to talk about that you can see here. And then this is a sleeve we have from talking about the pattern pieces. Okay, so talking about the pattern piece, the tools that are required, there are two categories of tools that are used in pattern drafting. The first one is the essential tools, and we also have the specialized tools. Under the essential tools, we have a large flat working surface. When I talk about this, we're talking about a table that you're going to use to spread out your pattern paper or the drafting tools. We also want a pattern paper. Okay, here they come in different weights and sizes. So you have to choose the paper that is strong enough to handle your drafting tools and the manipulation, but it should not be thick that it is so difficult to cut. Okay, we also have a straight edge. This is a ruler, okay, that you can use, that is used for creating accurate straight lines. All right, you can either use a metal ruler, a yardstick, or a acrylic ruler. Okay, let's continue about the curved rulers. Here, the curved rulers, they help us, especially in the curved regions on our pattern pieces. Okay, like the French curves, we have the hip curves. around your hip area. We have the armhole curves around your armhole. All right, so they are used for creating a smooth curved lines on your patterns. We have the chalk and the pencils. For the chalk, you can rub it off after you have finished, but for the pencil, it allows for more precise marking. We have scissors, and under scissors we have two categories. The first one is a tailor's scissor, all right, and then we have the pinking shears. Okay, for the scissors, they are used for cutting out pattern pieces, but for the pinking shears, they are very helpful, all right, because they help to prevent the fabric from fraying, all right. We also have the tape measure, all right. It is essential for taking body measurements and measuring the pattern pieces. We also, under the specialized, I've said there are two important tools. We have the essential, and now we are talking about the specialized tools. Under the specialized tools, we are coming to see them. We have the L square, all right, the hip curve, the armhole curve, all right, that we have said is along your armhole, all right, or the arm cycle. We have the compass that are very helpful to create your circles and curved shape, especially the necklines and the collars. We have the grading ruler. Okay, it is used to increase or decrease the pattern pieces, all right, to create different sizes. Like we have size 12, size 14, okay, size 10. So if you are a size 12, you're using pattern pieces for size 12 and you want to go to size 10, you're going to use a grading ruler, because you are going to decrease the size of the pattern pieces. And still, if you have size 12 and you want to go to size 14, you're going to use the grading ruler, because you're going to increase the size of the pattern pieces. We have the pattern notcher, because it is a small tool that is used to create notches on pattern pieces for marking, all right, the alignment poles. Here is what I'm talking about. Here we have the craft paper, here, the one that you're going to use. People call it the brown paper, all right. We have the L, right, you can see it. It's used for making the right angles or a straight line, all right. We have the hip cuff here, that is used to curve our hip in the pattern pieces. We have our French curve, all right, here. Okay, they can be two. There is one that is this one, and these one, they vary, all right. We also have our scissors here, all right. We have our pen, or we have our tape measure, our eraser, all right. We also have our tracing wheel here, and a plastic ruler, okay. So let's continue. When we're talking about pattern drafting, you're wondering, after I've done pattern and drafting as a course, what will I do in future, all right? You can become an apparel pattern maker, all right? These are people who are responsible for grading patterns to create different sizes, all right? And ensuring the fit and the functionality of the garment. You also have a fashion designer, all right? A fashion designer, in fashion design, it allows you to transform ideas into functional garments and to communicate the designs effectively to pattern makers, all right? The pattern makers here, all right? And the sample markers, okay? We also have a technical designer, all right? They may be involved in selecting materials, all right? Creating prototypes and ensuring the garments meet quality standards, okay? We also have a tailor that in educational level we call the custom clothier, all right? Custom clothier or tailors, they create garment for individual clients, right? Taking into account their specific measurements and preferences, all right? We also have a costume maker. In a costume maker, they create costumes for either theater. You can make costumes for theater, for film, and for television and other production, okay? We have come to the end of our lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day. Bye.